Hi everyone, welcome to CEO Meets. I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Sarra from SmartPA. Hi Sarra, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you for having me. Yeah, all good.
Good. So first and foremost, the key question we always want to ask is, what do you do? What does SmartPA do in the marketplace?
So SmartPA, what we do is we revolutionise business support whilst we transform lives along the way. And how do we do that? We do that from creating and cultivating and nurturing a global talent pool, and we deliver an outsourced business support service. So supporting businesses from micro right through to corporate with business support and call handling services.
Cool. Now, you said the magic word there, global. So you're not small business, you're not just in the UK, you have expanded abroad. Talk to me a bit about your international expansion. Where are you? Have you done it? Have you done it through masters or direct franchising?
We've done it through direct franchising thus far, and we are in around about 15 countries now. So Malta, Switzerland, Qatar, we're all over. And, you know, we've done it, if I'm being honest, Pip, obviously there was a strategy towards it, but it's also happened organically, which has been quite nice and given us a lot of learnings along the way when we've been approached by, direct franchisees in countries. So yes, it's been an interesting journey thus far.
Cool. Well, we're going to explore that a bit more, aren't we, at a later stage for our FBI newsletter. So I'm excited to share your journey more on the global front, because it's something that a lot of franchisors aspire to do.
Yeah.
So COVID for you guys, I'm guessing given what you do, you've probably done quite well and grown during the sort of COVID pandemic.
Grown about 27%. Now, we still encounter challenges like the majority of businesses out there. You know, what we found specifically was we were getting a lot of inquiry with everybody moving to this blended home, remote, outsourced working environment that we've all adopted overnight. But there was a bit of decision freeze, businesses just waiting for things to fall in place, such as vaccines and unlocking and a whole host of things. There was a bit of decision freeze, but now I'm delighted to say that whilst we've grown, the fruits of our labour from last year are really now coming into play.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be something that people look more and more at, is that kind of blended approach to, do we need to have a fixed employee for this, or can we outsource? So definitely in the right space.
Absolutely, really, absolutely.
And in terms of, there's a stat that I really like that we talked about before. So in terms of SME failures, so in the first year, isn't it? I think the quote is 90% of SMEs fail, but that stat looks very differently in SmartPA. Talk to me a bit about that and why we're so successful, specifically in franchising with stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, franchising as a model is quite amazing, and when it's done well from a franchisor's perspective, it really is an empowering opportunity for people to get into business and not only, increase their success rate, but also accelerate it. And that's what we see, from our partners. They talk about our success rate is around about 98% at the moment, which is amazing. But the speed in which they get through accreditation, etc., and get into that place where their business is starting to grow and starting to meet their ambition and their vision is much quicker than obviously it would happen for normal. I've experienced it myself. And when you go into business yourself without engaging into a franchise model.
Okay, so on the basis we're talking about franchising, someone's maybe considering franchising, what would be your top tip or top couple of tips for them in terms of what do I need to know and what do I need to be looking at when I'm looking at a franchisor?
Okay, so I think the first thing I would say is, two things. So first of all would be around brand and the recognition of that brand in that business. How well known is this brand in the market? Are they the leading brand? Are they a trademarked brand, etc.? And how are they seen in the market? What's their Trustpilot reviews, etc.? What's their customer experience? And that's a real important one. And then the next one is around, I'm going to add another one actually, is around obviously, researching the marketplace in terms of the demand of that particular service. What is the sector? What is the market size for this particular business? That's an important one. And then the last one is around support, coaching, mentoring. So when you become part of that franchise business, when you part with your money, if you like, you make that investment, what support is there, after the accreditation program? How much investment does that franchisor put into you to make sure that you have continued success? Do you do your accreditation program and then that's it? They say, good luck, or do they continually invest, continue to develop you, throughout your franchisee journey? I think that's a real important one. And that's something that SmartPA, we place a huge importance in and invested hugely right from the start, is that it's all very well, obviously recruiting and attracting new talent and supporting them to become accredited, but what happens after that? How do we ensure that they continually grow as a business owner and support, the growth of their business? I think that's really key.
Yeah, 100%. For me, the most critical thing when someone says why franchising over anything else, it's that ongoing support.
Yeah.
And without the ongoing support, for me, it's not a proper business format franchise.
No. Absolutely. So the other point I was going to make, sorry that Pippi, I just interrupted you there, was the other thing is, and also how do they cultivate community within their network and peer-to-peer? I think that's a good question to ask. Because obviously from a head office franchisor perspective, it's great, and it's obviously making sure that they have a program and that continued investment and that continued support. But what do they also do to cultivate community, and peer-to-peer support would be another one I'd be looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to see that franchisees are allowed to talk to one another, and that's proactive, because sometimes, isn't it, from a franchisor perspective, you can say this is a great idea, but if they're hearing it from a colleague, absolutely take it on board more. My final question, what are your big ambitions? What's your kind of growth plans and I guess your big goal for the next sort of 5 years?
The next 5 years, linking back to purpose, is around, really reaching out and supporting through our global exposure, really attracting more and more clients across the network, and everybody from a micro right through to a corporate. Thus far, we've tended to focus more on micro to SME as a business, a client profile, whereas already, the last couple of years, we're building more and more traction, that mid to corporate space. And obviously with the recent, this past year, many more mid to corporates are really now looking at their modus operandi and that blended remote outsourced opportunity is really growing our client base on a global basis, as well as balancing that with growing our talent pool. The other thing for us is one of the things we've committed to and invested recently is strengthening our learning and development and education function. We have this philosophy here at SmartPA, happy people equals happy clients. So making sure that our people feel even more invested in, making sure that they always have access to be able to improve, to grow their skills, their knowledge and behaviours.
That's brilliant. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. We will absolutely catch up, because we're going to do the FBI piece so that we can explore your international stuff. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Pip.